If you said you have met Christ or encountered Christ, and 3 days after your confession of Christ, you can still be seen as a thief in your working place. 3 days after your encounter with Christ, you could still be called a fornicator. Your sin partner in sin could still see you as a fornicator. 3 days after you have encountered Christ, your partner still sees you as an unrighteous person, an insincere person. 3 days after you say you have encountered Christ, your close friends and loved ones still see you as the person who still has the stubborn heart. 3 days after you say you have met Christ, somebody say, Pastor, why are you mentioning 3 days? Okay, this is a mystery. Jesus died, he resurrected after what? 3 days. He spent 3 days what? In the earth, and he resurrected in newness of life. So 3 days after our encounter with him, you still can be associated with different in your working place. You still caught sight. Your friends at the working place can still not sense the encounter Christ in you. 3 days after you say you have met Christ, your wife and your husband cannot just accept that you have. They cannot even feel the scent of Christ in you. 3 days after you say you have met Christ, they're still lying on your lip. 3 days after you say you have met Christ, and still the fornication is there, the boyfriend, girlfriend, you are still harboring these things in your life. 3 days after you say you have met Christ, you could still be associated with pornography and fornication and porn. All those things. 3 days after you say you have met Christ, your friends have not changed. You still sit in the same place of gossip with the people you were living in sin before. 3 days after you say you have encountered Christ, you still have the old life in you. Then I want to submit to you that you met or encountered a false Christ. You didn't meet Christ. And here is the worst part of it. If after 3 days that Jesus resurrected with newness of life, and if we say we have encountered him 3 days after our resurrection, we still cannot exemplify a newness of life, and people cannot sense it around us that there is a change, then I tell you that we have encountered a false Christ. I'm telling you. And then I say the worst part of it. The worst part of it. Some people have lived in church facing the cross. 1 year is still not converted. 2 years still not converted. 3 years still will manifest, anger. 6 months, you still don't know the difference between the dressing of a Christian, decency of life that befits a godly person, and you still go the way of the world where they are getting naked every day, and you say you are in church. You have not met Christ. You have not met Christ. And this is what ministers of today must know, and Christians must know. If you sit before me and after 3 days you still could speak like a worldly person, use their language to do business, and you don't see anything wrong, drink alcohol, fornicate, go to the 2-2 line, still with porno, and all those kind of dirty things, you could still sit on the seat of discomfort with those who are in sports and could sing their song and play their bet with soccer and all these idols of this world. You still drinking from the cup of profanity and vanity. 3 days, 3 months, 1 year, these things are still in you, and you say you are a Christian. You did not meet the New Testament Christ, Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Unshiano. You met a different Christ. I believe this clear-cut statement is what the modern Christian must hear, because many think they are going to heaven, but you are attached to the false Christ because your experience is false. Your experience of Christ is not genuine, it's not clear, and you relax in that, and you go making your way gradually to hell. I pray that as you hear this, may the Lord touch your life and touch your heart. Amen.